Hey guys, what's up? Happy Sunday. Just wanted to kind of share with you this presentation today about leveling up your language skills in only 30 days. And I made this presentation about 3 or 4 months ago. And so I just felt like I wanted to share with you the strategies and the type of plan we need to have in order to improve our skills when speaking a language because not most of us but a lot of us have felt like we've made it to a point where it's okay, like we got the skills and we know how to communicate, but we want to keep on improving, right? It's about consistent improvement, and the strategies that I will share with you today will perhaps give you a different strategy on how you can go about making the progress that you need. So, the first thing that you definitely know about is confidence. When it comes to learning a language, we need to be confident in how we're going to present the language, how we're going to be communicating. And I write down here some um, ideas. So it says it comes from doing the right thing, it comes from knowing that you're acting morally, rightly, ethically, and in accord with your most deeply held values, even if it hurts. So, yeah, when you know what you're doing, what you're saying is something of value and that you actually put in a lot of time and effort, and you're doing it from a place of love and passion, then that gives you confidence no matter how many mistakes you make. Sometimes we still make mistakes. I still make mistakes all the time. But because I love what I do, because I know this is for me, because I know that no matter what, I'm going to persevere. Even if I have a terrible day speaking this language today, tomorrow I'm going to get back up again and continue. I'm going to pick myself up and show up again and again and again. So, see, that gives me confidence to know that I'm not going to give up, even if it's like really bad some days. So, if you feel good with yourself, then the confidence to speak this language will naturally be part of what you get eventually. So, it'll come to you. Don't worry about it, but you need the confidence. You need to know why. That's why I always talk about start with why. Start with a reason why you're doing it. If you have plans of maybe moving to a different country, living in a different place where you're going to be using this language all the time, then that gives you confidence because you know, okay, this is something that I'm planning to do in the future. This is my destiny, right? You even have to think like this, right? This is my destiny. This is for me, and I'm not worried. The only thing I can worry about is the time and effort I dedicate today. So, and I already said that it doesn't have to be a long time. It can be as simple as just doing 10 minutes a day of the language. Just study it for 10 minutes a day, and that's enough. But as long as you do it consistently, as long as you show up every single day, it's just your destiny. Like I said, it's your future. That's gonna happen no matter what because you're creating the future by doing the things that you're required to do in the present. So that's how you get confident when speaking the language. So the next thing I wanted to share here is that you need to recognize. Maybe I'm going off topic a lot, or maybe I'm extending and stretching out the definitions because I want you to get them. But if we break down what confidence is and how confidence is created, you will see that you already have confidence. You're already confident, even if you don't know it. Confidence is innately put in every single one of us. We just need to rediscover it. We just need to get it again and uncover it, like I said, rediscover it and uncover it. So you already have it, and you need to make mistakes. Unfortunately, and that's why confidence is not easy to get, because most of us don't like to make mistakes. We are afraid of making mistakes. We have this negative idea about mistakes, and that's why we rather just be avoiding it. We always avoid, making mistakes. So, but I want to encourage you to make mistakes more often in the language that you're learning. So use the language, make mistakes in the language, laugh at yourself about the mistakes you make, and keep going. Confidence comes from right actions. So remember, if you create the habit of doing it for 10 minutes every day, then there's gonna come a time when you're gonna feel uncomfortable if you haven't completed the task. Once it's a habit, it's ingrained in your DNA, and you will wanna do it. It's gonna come easier because it's part of who you are. It's like taking a shower. You don't think about it, you don't question it, you just do it because it's a habit. Or sometimes people, wake up really early because they have to go to work, and they find out that even during weekends they wake up at the same time, because that's, the power of habit. They have the habit to get up at a certain time, and so they do it effortlessly, you know every day. So the next one is mindset and beliefs about yourself. So it's about, like I said, confidence, the first slide. It's about the belief that you have about who you are. This is your destiny. This is who you're going to become. You're gonna achieve this language proficiency because it's your future. That's your future. But again, you still need to do the thing. You still need to take action every day if you want that to be your future. Your present determines the future, as long as you're doing what you need to do right now. So you already have it. Why do I say that you already have it? Because everybody is confident at something. Like, what are you good at already? Like, I'm sure you're good at math, maybe, or maybe you're good at playing soccer. Maybe you're good at eating, right? Maybe you're good at just, it could be anything, but there is something that people look at you and say, oh man, you're really good. Or, oh, friend, you're really good. So what is that for you? Figure out what you are good at and see. When you do this activity, you feel confident. You feel like, oh, this is easy. And why is that? Because you've done it multiple times. You've done it a lot. And so how do you expect to be confident, in this language if you haven't practiced it as much? See? So repetition, repetition, repetition is what makes you confident. Okay? So there you go. Let's keep on going. It comes from making mistakes, as I said, and I'm stretching out the conversation here. It comes from making mistakes. So how can you make more mistakes? Start, if you're comfortable, right now at this language. Maybe it's because you're doing the same thing and you're not giving yourself a challenge. So give yourselves challenges, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. Of course, we like challenges, but at the same time we don't really like them because it's unknown territory. We don't know how we're going to face the new difficulties. So give yourself challenges, stretch yourself out, and start studying other topics in this language. Perhaps you're comfortable talking about just personal interests, hobbies, maybe about the school topics. But now a challenge would be trying to research about psychology or science. So start learning this language and reading books or watching videos, listening to speakers talk about topics that you're not very familiar with, like math, science, psychology. See, these topics are going to stretch you out. They are going to give you a challenge because they are topics that you are not very familiar with. And that's just my assumption. Maybe you are familiar with them. So look at things that you haven't tried before, topics, especially, when it comes to language learning, we have like a lot of choices to pick from, right? There is so many areas that we can dive into. So um, yeah, that's what's going to give you a challenge, and that's what's going to make you better. So our failures and mistakes the same. Don't make the mistake to think that you fail, because failure are final, right? At least that's the definition I give them. Failures are final, whereas mistakes you can try again. You can try again and again. As long as you keep on showing up and trying, you will be fine. And there's gonna be a time when you're not gonna make the mistakes anymore, because you've got the lesson. You're gonna understand what works and what doesn't. So that I just wanted to mention that are human being are human beings perfect? And again, don't stress over something that's not a bad thing. Mistakes are part of being humans, right? We make mistakes by nature. We can't help it. It's just who we are. So don't feel bad if you're making mistakes, because this is just part of being human. So keep making mistakes, keep mispronouncing the words, keep forgetting. It's part of learning, right? You're gonna forget. You're going to mispronounce the words, but don't let that stop you from doing it again and again and again. So let's continue here. Confidence comes from the right actions. So there are some actions that you're doing in, if we talked about how you're good at something, right? So those, you got this good at that specific activity because you did certain activities, you took certain actions that made you really good at that. And so what actions can you do in this new pursuit of learning a language? What are the right actions when it comes to language learning? What actions can you do towards the language that will make you better at it? So let's see what we can do here. What do you want to do? uh, so you again, we're gonna go back to the mindset, right? Why do you want to do this, right? Why do you want to do this? Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to meet somebody that speaks this language, and that person is the love of your life or something. So be specific, right? What's the exact reason that you want it? It's a person, it's a place, it's a job, right? There could be many reasons why. What do you think about yourself? Do you think it's possible for you? Do you see yourself achieving this goal of speaking this new language? It's all here. It all starts with your thinking, with your thoughts. So if you can imagine it, then it's for you, right? So if you see yourself doing it, then that's a good indication. What are your limiting beliefs? You also have to recognize that, the negativity that we get sometimes, because we all have it. We all have that little voice whispering, right? That we are not good enough, but we are. We just have to listen to it and kind of laugh, right? Be like, oh, that's my little voice, reminding me something that's a lie, right? Because all that's trying to do is deviate you into a different direction. But if you are certain on your why, if you're certain on why do you want it, and you're specific about it, then that's going to be stronger than that little voice. So that's that. Let's keep on going. Language learning. So for language learning specifically, how we're going to accomplish it, right? So I talk about how for language learning there are four skills, four components that are gonna allow you to master it for sure, right? But again, it's gonna take some time. But if you can do the speaking, right? If you can listen every single day, if you can speak every single day, if you can listen, if you can read every single day, if you can write every single day, then combine these four skills, create a language. And that's what I encourage you to practice every single day. So how are you going to speak, right? That it comes down to to these questions that I wrote here. What do you like speaking about? So when you practice speaking, like let's say that you're sold on, okay, yes, I'm going to be doing these four skills, four components of a language every day starting today. Okay, so it's easy to say that you will do it, but now the hard part comes when you need to actually do it, right? So to make it simpler, I'm going to ask you a few questions here. What do you like speaking about? So find topics that you are into, that you're passionate about. So that's what you're going to be talking about. How do you sound? Listen to your voice, record your voice. Do you like your voice? That's what you're going to record it. Can you practice with other people? If you have friends, maybe you can call somebody that you know that's going to help you practice. Where can you find people to practice with you? Yes, see, find people that you know. And if you don't know anyone, you can still record your voice. You can still talk to a mirror. See, that's how you practice speaking. Listening, same thing, right? What type of music do you listen to? Focus on things that you're already doing, music that you enjoy, TV shows that you watch, what social media. If you have, if you look at social media and you actually like it, then change the language so that you get the information in the target language rather than in your native language. Read books that you like. Allow the subtitles, the captions on every time so you're reading. So that can also be a way for you to train reading. Type of books. What is a motivational quote you like? You read quotes. That's something I did when I was training my language skills, reading quotes that I enjoyed in my native Spanish. So writing uh, writing is really relevant. I find that a lot of people only focus on these three and they forget about writing, but I think that writing is definitely a must. So write about your day, write about you, write about your desires, write about these goal of yours. Write it, put it on a journal and look at it every day so you remind yourself, okay, this is why I'm doing this. Okay, so and at the same time while you write, you're going to be teaching yourself grammar. Grammar is a big obstacle sometimes for people, but I think they're looking at it the wrong way. If you just start grammar from the very beginning and start like writing your ideas, you will self-correct because you will start analyzing, oh, this is how this language works. Of course, compare it to your native language. That's where you're going, that your native language is actually going to allow you to make the right corrections while you're writing on your journal. We have Google Translate that is really good for doing this. If you don't know a word, if you don't know how to um, maybe place certain words because of you know just grammatical changes, but you can still do that through the translator and kind of figure it out. So as long as you start from day one doing all these four, you'll be good. But before we can commit to doing the right things, we must reprogram your mind. So you need to reprogram your mind to say, okay, yes, how do I get to make these new habits? You're gonna write, you're gonna read, you're gonna listen, you're going to um, speak. So, and this is just personal, right? I do meditation. I meditate about the things that I want to accomplish in my life. And when I was learning my first language, I was always thinking about it, but I was really young, so I didn't know what I was doing. But now I do it consciously. I do it. I'm more deliberate about doing it, and so I meditate deliberately now. In the past, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was in my mind. I was thinking about it. I was writing about it. I had pictures on my wall around my room. So meditation, affirmations. Why limiting beliefs? So this is how you recalibrate your mind. You think about the thing, right? You're thinking, think what you want. A lot of people think what they don't want. So think what you want to accomplish. Affirmations. You give yourself affirmations because nobody else is gonna tell you good thing. Or maybe they're your parents, right? Or your friends. But why not yourself? You can tell yourself how proud you are of yourself. And I do. I tell myself, hey bro, you're doing a good job today. See, do that. Why? Clarity. Why do you do this? Why do you try to learn this language so bad? Why? And recognize your limiting beliefs. Every time that you see a negative thought coming to you, just realize it and then observe it and then laugh at it. Right? Laugh at it. Don't pay attention to it. Just laugh at it. Oh, again. Nah, it's not a big problem. Not a biggie. I'll keep on moving. Ignore it. That's the word. Ignore it. Can you do all these practices for 30 days? So if you can do this for habits that I gave you for 30 days, can you do that for me? Do it, please. Do it. Just that's your challenge. After you watch this video, create a schedule and say to yourself, I'm gonna do this for 30 days, no matter what. I'm not gonna miss a day. Try test it out as an experiment and see what happens, right? Because I'm trying to create habits in you. That's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to teach you a new language yet. I'm just trying to make the habit, create the habit in yourself, and you can create it for yourself by doing this. Can you do this for 30 days? Can you do all these practices for 30 days? If you can, this is what you will need. You will need 100% commitment. You're not going to miss a day. I only ask for 10 minutes, and we're going to talk about that pretty soon. You're going to need discipline. Your reasons, I'm sure you already have the reasons why. And you need to motivate yourself, of course. But the most important, I think, is discipline and commitment. These two are really important. So commit, commit to 30 days. Then what else? And a few weapons here. What weapons are we going to be using? We're going to be using a journal. If you don't have something to write on, I usually have this right here. So maybe get something like this, where you're gonna be writing on a timer, uh, 10 minutes, right? You have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe. The minimum would be 10 minutes, but if you have maybe 15 or 20 minutes, that's even better. So maybe a calendar to start marking off, right? Okay, day one, day two, day three, 30 days, and a checklist for all these. Checklist for, or you can do the checklist on the journal. So see, that's why journals are really good, because you can do a lot of things. You can have your calendar there, you can have your checklist there. So um, so in the checklist, what is the checklist? Again, writing, speaking, reading, listening. And see, I suggest 5 minutes thinking about what you want. That's your meditation. Just close your eyes, and you're going to only focus and set the timer and start thinking about what is it that you want. You want this because you see yourself in the country, you're talking to the people in the country, you're being fluent while talking. See, you can create a reality in your mind right now. So Do that for 5 minutes every day for 30 days. Then you have affirmations. You tell yourself, you pat yourself in the back, and you say to yourself, hey, you did a good job today. I'm so proud. Hey, I see you are practicing for 10 minutes this morning. Good job. I'm glad. So, see, I am amazing. I believe in me. I can do this. These are just examples, you know. So, I want you to do that as well. Then I want you to speak, right? The speaking is gonna be great. So for 10 minutes, uh, speaking, right? I did like what? Maybe for this particular exercise, I use like 30 minutes, but you can reduce the time, you know, according to whatever it is that you have available. So for speaking, is 10 minutes. And how do you practice speaking? You can use a mirror. You can go to meetups. Uh, meetup Meetup events are gatherings of people that happen in every city around the world. So if you don't know, download the app, and you'll find out the type of events that there are in your city, where people from all over the world go there and they speak in different languages. So another way you can do this is through making videos on your phone. You can make a video of yourself speaking the language. That's what I was doing when I was training myself to speak a language. So these are just things that I've used in the past and that have worked for me. So hopefully they work for you too. Um, WhatsApp, yeah. If you have friends, in other countries, or in your target language, you can um, send them voicemails, and just be like, hey, I'm trying to practice your language. Can I practice with you? And send them a message of your voice. And if they're your friends, they're going to be happy to learn that you're trying to practice their language. So I'm sure they can help you out. And then use apps. There are some apps that allow you to record your voice. Like there's this app that's called Recorder, and basically you're just recording your voice, and you can use that as a voice entry, right? Every day you have a little comments about the things that you did throughout the day, and you listen to yourself, you see how your pronunciation is. So a lot of this is self-taught, right? You're going to be assessing how you're progressing. So hopefully that's helpful. How we're gonna listen here. We're gonna listen using some media, YouTube, and I'm running out of time here, so I'm gonna hurry up. Um, some movies, focus on things that you enjoy, and with the internet right now, we have so many options: music, our phone, YouTube. So you're gonna listen to music that you love for 10 minutes. Of course, again, I'm using a longer frame of time here, about 30 minutes, but I say that you can do, for example, 2 minutes of speaking, right? You just say a few sentences, you write those sentences down. That would be writing. Then you can listen to any song in English with the lyrics. What's your favorite band? Okay, listen to one of those um, songs in your target language, and then write down look at the lyrics while listening to it. That shouldn't be too bad. So listening. So you're gonna do that for about 2 minutes, right? If you don't have as much time, you can do it for less time. Then reading. What are you gonna be reading? You can actually watch a video and watch it in the target language with the subtitles on, and see you're gonna be listening and reading at the same time, right? That's just an idea. But if you have more time, I definitely encourage you to read a book that you love, read books that you love. Maybe Harry Potter, that's one that people love. So you can read that book in the language that you're practicing, and you won't feel bored because you already know the book in your language. So when you read it in this new language, you will kind of start making the connections and joining the dots, you know So writing, and this is the last one, guys. So write about you, write about your goals, write about these project that you have to learn a new language, and keep it simple, right? 2 or 3 sentences. That's how I start. Every language that I learn, I just talk about the things that I want to do today. Like, for example, a clear example, I'm about to go on a road trip with my family, so I can do like, I will go out with my family today. That's it. That's one sentence. See, of course, if I try to do that in Spanish, it would be something like, yo voy a salir con mi familia. See how easy that is, right? So, but that's how you want to start. You need to keep things simple and easy at the beginning. So start with simple sentences, and that's what you're going to be writing about you, about your projects, about your goals. Simple sentences, right? Make it like, I said 5 here, but sometimes I feel like people need something. Um, People need to start even with less. So baby steps, real baby steps, could be like 1 or 2. So instead of 5, do 2. And if you're really committed and you want to, I don't want you to burn yourself out though, because a lot of people, they get overwhelmed. So start with 2 if you can do 5, but that would be a stretch. But whatever works for you, whatever works for you, as long as you're doing it consistently, like I said, daily, that's all that matters. So to recap everything, now we have, now you know how to practice writing, now you know how to practice speaking, now you know how to practice reading, and you know how to do listening. So if you combine those four and you do it for 30 days, right? This is the challenge, 30 days, then you will see what happens in 30 days if you commit, if you are committed, and if you want to do this, right? You will see a huge, huge change in who you are and how you've leveled up your skills. So I'm going to leave you with a few quotes here. This is my boy, Abraham Lincoln. He was really it's a historical figure, American history. Commitment is what transforms a promise into reality. So see, because you're going to be committed about doing this exercise for 30 days, you're going to create the reality that you want. And that's why this is important, guys. So, and the other thing is, nobody can teach you a language. You can only learn it by yourself. And this is by my favorite polyglot. This guy, Luca Lampariello, speaks about, I want to say, 15 languages altogether, maybe less, but about that number. So he learned fluently, right, all these languages, and he is self-taught. So can you believe that he's like really, really good? So, and he says this, right? Nobody can teach you a language. You can only learn it by yourself. So that's what I'm giving you here. I'm giving you the tools to learn it by yourself. So I hope that this information has been helpful, and I hope most than anything else, I hope that you apply it, that you receive it, like you probably have, and then apply it and take action. So let's go. Let's go. What's it gonna be, guys? We'll see you next time. Let me know if you have any suggestions, any questions, any feedback. And I wish you well and happy Sunday. Peace.